Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 24-year-old Virginia resident Joseph Brody is what's known as a groyper. That is someone who follows and supports white supremacist Nick Fuentes and his whole America First organization. And Brody met up in D.C., he met with 4 other guys that he knew through the America First movement. So after Donald Trump's speech, all 5 of them marched to the Capitol, and Brody and his friends were seen illegally entering the Capitol through the Senate wing doors. They entered just 3 minutes after the initial breach. So the 5 of them traveled through various parts of the Capitol. They were in Nancy Pelosi's office, where some of her staff was hiding. They were hiding behind locked doors and underneath desks. So eventually, Brody and his friends made their way to the 3rd floor of the building, and they stopped just outside of the Senate gallery. Well, Brody decided he was going to enter the Senate chamber. So his friends stayed out in the hallway. He actually went in. So Brody headed down to the Senate floor, and he was seen on the Senate floor. He was taking photos of documents on senators' desks and inside of their desks. And eventually he did leave, but this was only after the police came in and pushed everybody out. But at that point, he and his friends exited the building. So the group stayed on the Capitol grounds for a while, and then that's when Brody got himself into more trouble. So he and his friends were standing outside of an entrance. This was on the north side of the building. And an officer was trying to deploy a fire extinguisher because he was trying to keep the mob back and keep them from re-entering the building. Well, Brody saw him about to deploy the fire extinguisher, and he picked up one of the metal barricades, the police barricades, and he lifted it up and he shoved it into the officer, and he knocked the officer backwards. After that, Brody and his friends headed over to the media staging area. You guys will remember this because members of the media had to flee. They were in fear for their lives because they were surrounded by Trump terrorists. These people were all yelling at them, cursing at them, threatening them. So they fled and they left all of their equipment behind. So Brody was seen he was on video trying to take some of the equipment. First, he grabbed a corded phone. Then he was seen on video pulling on an orange extension cord. He ended up throwing it back down on the ground, though. It must have just not been easily accessible. And he did walk away. So Brody was arrested on September 14th of 2022. He was charged with civil disorder, assaulting officers, obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol building. In February of 2024, Brody pleaded guilty to 2 felonies, civil disorder and assaulting officers. So he faced a combined 13 years in prison, 6 years of probation, and $500,000 in fines. The government, however, requested only 30 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. They likely went easy on him because he has no criminal history, surprisingly, and due to his age, he was 21 when he took part in the attack. But Brody has posted some pretty concerning, almost threatening messages online, which I think they should have taken into consideration. So there was a post that he made on an America First site, and he wrote, quote, "Journalists have names and addresses. They should be worried about death squads coming for their lives." And if there was any doubt that he's a bigot, we have his own written words as evidence. So in 2018, Brody also posted, quote, "Easy to dehumanize immigrants when you're forced to be around them." Then he also boasted about his Eastern European heritage, and he said that his people, quote, "purged the Jews." He was like bragging about this, not like, oh, I feel bad about it. No, boasting about this. But by far, his most disturbing post was one in which he expressed sympathy for a 22-year-old guy who went on a killing spree. He murdered 6 men and women, all between the ages of 19 and 22. So this murderer was angry. This is why he did this, because girls wouldn't talk to him and he was still a virgin. That's why he murdered people. And Brody sympathized with him. Here's an idea for all the incels out there. How about you work on you? How about you become a better person? Stop being a hateful bigot. Maybe women might actually be attracted to you. Anyway, U.S. District Judge Dabney Friedrich presided over Brody's case, and at the sentencing hearing, he told her that he, quote, didn't intend to harm any innocents. And then Brody also said it would have taken, quote, supernatural courage to do what is right in the moment and go against the crowd. Really? No, just a little character. Just knowing right from wrong, nothing supernatural. But Brody claims that he is no longer involved in the America First movement. He told Judge Friedrich, quote, that was a phase in my life that has passed. For over 2 years now, I have not been associated with those people. Kind of hard to believe given the fact that Brody's mother has been pushing the America First agenda. According to the Washington Post, they say that Brody's mom has, quote, promoted Fuentes' work and false claims about human trafficking purportedly orchestrated by Democrats. And she appears to be enabling her son's laziness and his scrub status because Judge Friedrich told Brody she was concerned about his, quote, inability to launch and, quote, lack of motivation. Judge Friedrich also told Brody, quote, most 24-year-olds aren't just sitting at home being taken care of by mom or dad. In the end, Judge Friedrich sentenced Brody to only 18 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. So completely weak for someone convicted of 2 felonies. But this is a Trump appointee, so she tends to go easy on these January 6 criminals. I'm surprised she took issue with him at all, but this is the best we could have hoped for. Anyway, perhaps Mommy Brody should spend less time watching white supremacist Nick Fuentes, maybe more time focusing on her son, right? He's clearly struggling to become a productive member of society. Maybe focus on that instead of the color of people's skin. Anyway, I will let you all know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.